The sun's barely up in Chicago and you're staring at a cracked phone screen bills stacked like a house of cards ready to collapse. Your dreams are screaming, but your life's whispering, give up. One thought could flip the script. One choice could rewrite your future. Will you make it? If something in these words lights a fire in, you don't let it burn out. Hit that like button. Drop your truth in the comments and subscribe to SoulFuel for the kind of motivation that doesn't fade. Let's rise together. Let's begin. Gentlemen, life's a battlefield, and you're in the thick of it. Maybe you're 40 grinding in a dead-end job in Dallas watching your savings dwindle to $200. Maybe you're 37 in a cramped apartment in Philly wondering when your big break turned into a big bust. Maybe you're 45 in a quiet suburb of Phoenix, staring at a life that feels like someone else's. You can feel success. It's close. So damn close. But every time you reach for it, it slips away. Why? Because your mind's a wildfire burning in every direction except the one that matters. Without focus, success isn't just a dream, it's a taunt. A ghost that haunts you every time you fall short. Napoleon Hill, the man who cracked the code on achievement, said, "Your big opportunity may be right where you are now. Not in some far-off city, not in some perfect moment. Right here, right now, in the chaos of your life in Miami with the ocean roaring and your bank account silent. In the grind of your morning in Detroit, with the factory smoke rising and your hope fading. Your opportunity is waiting, but it's not going to chase you. You've got to lock in. You've got to focus. You've got to become the man who doesn't just dream of success, but demands it. Ask yourself, what's stealing your power? Is it the endless scroll on your phone eating up 3 hours a night in Atlanta? Is it the voice in your head whispering, "You're too old, too broke, too far gone"? Is it the noise of a world that wants you distracted, docile, defeated? Most guys don't fail because they lack skill. They fail because their mind's a mess. Scattered thoughts, divided energy, 100 plans, 0 results. You can't fight a war with a shotgun blast. You need a sniper's aim. One target, one purpose. One burning focus that cuts through the bullshit like a laser through steel. Picture this. It's dawn in Nashville. The sky bruised purple, the air heavy with possibility. You're standing in your garage, coffee gone cold, staring at a whiteboard. One goal written in bold, I'm building a business that'll free my family. Your heart's pounding. Your fists are clenched. That's not just a goal. That's a vow. That's focus. That's the moment you stop being a man who waits and start being a man who builds. Napoleon Hill didn't just talk about success, he studied it, lived it, preached it. His secret: a mind locked on one purpose, unshaken by doubt, undeterred by failure. That's the mind you need. That's the mind that wins. Let's talk about the stakes. You're not getting younger. The clock's ticking louder every year. Every day you let slip by in a haze of distraction is a day you'll never get back. You're in Seattle, staring at a laptop, dreaming of a business that could pull in $50,000 a year. But instead of working, you're scrolling. Instead of building, you're doubting. Instead of focusing, you're drifting. And every drift pulls you further from the life you want, the life you deserve, the life you can still claim if you decide to stop screwing around and start owning your mind. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't control the layoffs in Denver. You can't control the economy in San Francisco. You can't control the doubters in your circle in Houston. But you can control what you think, what you focus on, what you fight for. Right now, in the quiet of your kitchen in Boise, with the coffee maker humming and the world still asleep, you can decide, do I let the world run my mind, or do I run it? Do I let fear call the shots, or do I call them fears a liar? It's the voice that wakes you at 3 a.m. in Cleveland whispering, "You're not enough." It's the knot in your gut when you check your bank account in Orlando and see $100 left. It's the shadow that follows you in Raleigh telling you to play it safe. But fear only wins if you let it. David Goggins, a man who ran through hell and came out a legend, said, "The only way to grow is to suffer." That's not just tough talk. That's truth. You don't find your strength in comfort. You find it in the fire. In the moment, you choose to focus, to fight, to keep going when every bone in your body screams, quit. Let's get raw. You're not where you want to be. Maybe you're in St. Louis 39 staring at a rejection email from a job you thought was your ticket out. Maybe you're in Baltimore 42 with a divorce that left you with nothing but regrets and a mortgage. Maybe you're in Austin 50, wondering if the dreams you had at 30 are gone for good. But here's the deal. You're not stuck because life's unfair. You're stuck because your focus is fractured. You're chasing approval, comfort, escape, anything but the one thing that'll change your life. Focus isn't a buzzword. It's a weapon. It's the difference between the guy in Miami who talks about his dreams and the guy in Memphis who builds them. Napoleon Hill spent his life studying winners' men like Carnegie, Ford, Edison. What set them apart? Not genius, not luck. A mind that didn't waver, a purpose that didn't bend. They didn't scatter their energy on 100 half-assed goals. They locked in on one. They burned for it. They bled for it. And the world had no choice but to make room for them. Picture yourself in a gym in Charlotte, 6 a.m., the air thick with sweat and determination. Nobody's watching, nobody's cheering, just you and the weights. Every lift is a choice. Every rep is a battle. Do you stop when it burns, or do you push through because you know who you're becoming? That's focus. That's the moment you stop being a dreamer and start being a warrior. Napoleon Hill said effort only fully releases its reward after a person refuses to quit. You don't get the life you want by thinking about it. You get it by locking in day after day, choice after choice, rep after rep. The world's built to break your focus. Your phone's a slot machine buzzing with notifications stealing your attention in Portland. Your inbox is a war zone overflowing with demands in Boston. Your mind's a battlefield bombarded with doubts, fears, and noise. Every one of those is a thief robbing you of your future. The average guy in Tucson spends 4 hours a day on his phone chasing nothing like memes, distractions. 4 hours. That's 240 minutes you could have spent learning a skill, building a business, rewriting your story. But you didn't. Why? Because you let the world hijack your mind. Stoicism cuts through that noise. Seneca said you must concentrate upon and consecrate yourself wholly to each day, as though a fire were raging in your hair. That's not poetry. That's a call to war. Stop letting distractions rent space in your head. Evict them. In your apartment in Minneapolis with the snow falling outside, turn off your phone for 1 hour. Write down your goal. Feel its weight. Let it burn. That's you taking back your power. That's you telling the world, I'm not playing small anymore. Let's talk about the grind. It's not pretty. It's not a highlight reel. It's you alone in a coffee shop in Omaha, 6 a.m., working on a business plan while the world's still snoring. It's you running through the streets of San Diego, 7 p.m. when your body's begging for the couch. It's you in a basement in Pittsburgh studying a skill nobody else believes in because you know it's your way out. That's focus. That's the choice to show up when nobody's watching, to do the work, when it's hard to stay locked in, when everything's pulling you away. David Goggins talks about the accountability mirror. Look in it, right now. In your bathroom in Jacksonville with the fluorescent light buzzing, what do you see? A man who's letting life win, or a man who's ready to fight back? That mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the truth about your focus, or your lack of it. Goggins didn't become a Navy SEAL by wishing for it. He focused. He suffered. He chose the hard path because the easy one leads to nowhere. You're at that same crossroads. The easy path is comfortable, safe, familiar. The hard path, it's lonely, it's brutal. But it's where your power lives. Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you sharpen it. An unfocused mind is a dull blade, useless, weak, unable to cut through life's chaos. A focused mind, it's a sword. It slices through excuses, doubts, distractions. It carves a path where others see walls. But you don't get that sharpness by accident. You forge it. You grind it. You build it through choice, through discipline, through relentless commitment to one purpose. Napoleon Hill said, "The starting point of all achievement is desire. But desire without focus is just a spark. Focus turns it into a fire that burns through anything." Picture this. It's twilight in Albuquerque, the desert sky blazing red. You're sitting at a desk, pen in hand, writing one sentence: I will be debt-free and running my own company by 40. That's not a wish. That's a command. That's you telling your mind, your body, your soul, this is who I am. This is what I'm building. This is non-negotiable. That's the power of focus. That's the moment you stop drifting and start dominating. Let's talk about regret. It's heavy. It's the weight of every what if you carry. Every time you chose comfort over effort. Every time you let distraction win. Every time you said, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow's not promised. Today is. Right now, in the quiet of your room in Kansas City, with the streetlights flickering outside, you have a choice. Let regret pile up or burn it away with focus. Let the world win or take back your mind. Napoleon Hill said, you become what you think about most of the time. So what are you thinking about failure, fear? Or the man you're destined to become? Focus on that man. See him clearly. Feel his strength. Picture him standing tall in a boardroom in Seattle running a business that pulls in $100,000 a year. Picture him in a park in Charlotte playing with his kids, free from debt, free from fear. Picture him in a gym in Memphis, stronger at 45 than he was at 25. That man's not a fantasy. He's you. But only if you lock in. Only if you choose. Only if you focus. This is your wake-up call. The world's not going to hand you success. It's not going to pause for your doubts or clear the path for your dreams. But you can. You can take control. You can sharpen your mind. You can become the man who doesn't just reach for success but grabs it with both hands. The question is, will you? Will you rise? Will you fight? Will you focus? That's where we leave it. You're standing on the edge of your future. One thought, one choice, one moment can change everything. But only if you stop chasing shadows and start locking in. Only if you refuse to break. Only if you focus like your life depends on it, because it does. You're in the arena now. Life's swinging hard and it's not pulling punches. Maybe you're in Atlanta 38, staring at a pink slip from a job you gave 20 years to. Maybe you're in Tucson 43 with a bank account scraping $150 and a family counting on you. Maybe you're in Minneapolis 50 wondering if the fire you had at 30 is gone for good. The world's screaming give up. But you're still standing. And that's where the fight begins. Not with your fists, but with your mind. Not with your circumstances, but with your discipline. Because without discipline, focus is just a buzzword. And without focus, success stays just out of reach, close enough to taste, far enough to break you. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not a viral TikTok or a motivational poster. It's the grind when the world's dark and quiet. It's the choice to roll out of bed at 4:30 a.m. in Boston when the snow's piling up and your body's begging for sleep. It's saying no to a night of beers in Nashville when your buddies are calling because you're writing a business plan that'll change your life. David Goggins, a man who turned his pain into power, said, "Discipline is the only thing that'll keep you moving when motivation's gone." That's not just a quote. It's a lifeline. You don't wait for inspiration. You don't wait to feel ready. You act. You focus. You build. Picture this. It's 6 a.m. in San Antonio. The gym's empty, just you and the hum of fluorescent lights. Your muscles ache. Your mind's whispering, nobody will know if you skip. But you step up to the barbell anyway. Why? Because discipline is your edge. Because every rep is a brick in the foundation of the man you're forging. Napoleon Hill said, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle." You don't build a life of purpose by coasting. You build it by choosing the hard road every damn day. Let's talk about the enemy, your own head. It's sneaky. It tells you one missed day doesn't matter. 1 hour scrolling in Denver won't hurt. One excuse in Orlando won't derail you. But it adds up. Every time you choose ease over effort, you're not just losing time. You're losing trust in yourself. You're chipping away at your momentum. You're letting the world steal your focus. The guy in Seattle who's still talking about the book he'll write someday. He's not lazy. He's undisciplined. His mind's a war zone and focus is losing ground. So how do you fight back? You build habits, not big flashy ones. Small, relentless ones. Start with your morning. Set your alarm for 4 a.m., not 5, not 6. 4. When it screams, don't negotiate. Get up. Feel the cold floor under your feet in your Philly apartment. That's you waking up to your power. Make your bed, not because it's neat, but because it's your first victory. Then write down one goal, not a list. One thing that sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's starting a side hustle in Charlotte that pulls in $20,000 a year. Maybe it's getting your health back in St. Louis. Write it, speak it, own it. Discipline isn't about being a machine. It's about being human. Flawed, tired, tempted, but choosing to rise anyway. You'll want to quit. Your bed will call. Your phone will beg for attention. That's normal. But you're not here to be normal. You're here to be unstoppable. David Goggins ran 100 miles with broken bones because he refused to let his mind break first. You don't need to run ultramarathons, but you need to show up. Every day. In the rain of Portland, in the heat of Miami, in the silence of Boise. You show up because that's what warriors do. Let's talk about the struggle. It's real. It's heavy. Maybe you're in Columbus 40 staring at a stack of bills you can't pay. Maybe you're in San Diego 37 and the business you poured your heart into just tanked. The struggle's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're alive. Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Every setback is a chance to sharpen your discipline. Every failure is a lesson in focus. The world doesn't reward the guy who whines. It rewards the guy who grinds, who adapts, who keeps his eyes on the prize no matter how hard life hits. Here's a story. A man in Raleigh 41 lost his sales job in a corporate shakeup. No warning. Just a severance check for $5,000 and a good luck. He could have drowned his pain in a bar on Glenwood Avenue. Instead, he woke up at 4 a.m. every day. Started learning digital marketing on a beat-up laptop. Free YouTube tutorials. No excuses. 8 months later, he's freelancing, pulling in $45,000 a year. Not a millionaire, but a man on fire. Not because he was lucky, because he was disciplined, because he focused. What's stopping you from doing the same discipline is a muscle. It's weak at first. You don't start benching 300 pounds. You start with 10 push-ups in your Omaha basement. You don't write a business plan overnight. You write one paragraph in your Memphis kitchen. You don't transform your life in a week. You transform it with one choice repeated daily. Napoleon Hill said the person who sows a single beautiful thought in his mind reaps a harvest of beautiful actions. Your thoughts are seeds. Your discipline is the soil. Focus is the sunlight. Without all three, your dreams stay buried. Let's get real. You're busy. Life's a meat grinder. Kids in Dallas need you. Bills in Houston won't wait. But you don't need more hours. You need better focus. Cut the noise. Turn off your phone for 1 hour every night in your Tucson apartment. No notifications, no distractions. Just you and your mission. Break it down. If you want to start a business, don't just dream about it. Research one competitor tonight. Write one email to a potential client tomorrow. Make one call next week. Small actions compound. They build momentum. Momentum builds belief. Belief builds empires. Now let's talk about resistance. It's not just the world fighting you, traffic in Chicago, rejections in Boston, doubters in your circle. It's you. That voice in your head saying you're not ready. That urge to check your phone when you should be working. That pull to quit when the work gets tough. David Goggins calls it the 40% rule. When you think you're done, you're only at 40% of your potential. That voice telling you to stop, it's lying. Override it. Tell it not today. Choose discipline over comfort every single time. Picture this, it's 7 p.m. in Louisville. You're drained. Work was a war zone. Traffic was hell. You collapse on the couch, phone in hand, ready to zone out. But you stop. You put the phone down. You grab a notebook. You write one sentence: "I'm building a life that makes my kids proud." That choice, that moment, shifts everything. It's not about the sentence. It's about the signal you're sending. I'm in charge. I'm focused. I'm done playing small. Stoicism gives you the blueprint. Epictetus said it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You can't control the layoffs in Denver. You can't control the market in San Francisco. But you can control your effort, your habits, your choices. If it doesn't serve your mission, cut it. If it doesn't move you forward, walk away. Be ruthless with your time. Be relentless with your focus. In your garage in Charlotte with the kids asleep and the world quiet, choose one action that moves you closer to your goal. That's you telling life, I'm coming for you. Discipline isn't about perfection. You'll slip. You'll skip a workout. You'll scroll when you should be working. That's not failure. That's feedback. The difference between the man who wins and the man who loses is what he does next. The loser stays down, drowning in guilt. The winner gets up, recalibrates, locks back in. Napoleon Hill said, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equivalent advantage. Your slip-ups aren't the end. They're the start of your comeback. Dust off. Refocus. Keep moving. Let's talk about the long game. Discipline isn't a sprint. It's a war of attrition. You're not going to turn your life around in a month, but you can in a year. Start today. In your apartment in Memphis with the rain drumming on the windows, pick one habit. Maybe it's waking up at 4 a.m. Maybe it's writing one page of your business plan. Maybe it's cutting out one distraction, social media excuses, doubt. Commit to it for 30 days. Not because it's magic, but because it's proof. Proof you can show up. Proof you can focus. Proof you're stronger than your weakest urges. Here's another story. A guy in Albuquerque, 36, single dad, lost his construction gig in a recession. Down to his last $200. He could have let despair win. Instead, he started waking up at 3:30 a.m. Spent 1 hour every morning learning web development on a borrowed laptop. No fancy courses, just grit and free tutorials. 10 months later, he's coding websites, pulling in $35,000 a year. Not rich, but rising. Not perfect, but disciplined. He didn't wait for a handout. He built his focus. He owned his mind. What's your excuse? The world doesn't owe you a damn thing. Not in Miami, not in Portland, not anywhere. Success doesn't come from talent or luck. It comes from showing up when you're exhausted, when you're broke, when you're scared. David Goggins says, you don't have to feel good to do good. That's discipline. That's focus. That's the line between the guy who talks about his dreams and the guy who lives them. You want to be the second guy. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop chasing motivation. Start building habits that force you to move even when you're empty. Your environment matters. If you're surrounded by negativity in Cleveland, friends who mock your hustle, a job that sucks your soul, a phone that won't shut up, you're fighting with one hand tied. So change it. Start small. Clean your desk in San Antonio. Unfollow the noise on your socials. Tell that buddy in Tulsa who's always dragging you down, I'm busy. Protect your focus like it's your lifeblood, because it is. Napoleon Hill said, you are the master of your fate because you control your thoughts. Control them by controlling what you let in. Discipline builds momentum. Momentum builds belief. Belief builds results. But it starts with one choice. Right now. In the quiet of your room in Jacksonville with the world asleep, choose one action that moves you forward. Maybe it's signing up for that course you've been dodging. Maybe it's running 1 mile in the Nashville dawn. Maybe it's writing one sentence about the life you want. Doesn't matter how small it seems. What matters is you do it. Today, tomorrow, the next day. Because every time you show up, you're telling your mind, I'm serious. You're telling the world, watch me. Let's talk about pain. It's real. Discipline hurts. It's not fun to wake up before dawn in Buffalo when the snow's piling up and your bones ache. It's not fun to say no to a night out in Vegas when your friends are living it up. It's not fun to grind alone in your Omaha basement on a dream nobody else sees. But that pain, it's your forge. It's your fire. It's the crucible that shapes the man you're meant to be. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said the mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. Reframe the pain. It's not punishment. It's progress. It's not suffering. It's strength. Your mind will fight you. It's wired for comfort, for ease, for instant gratification. That's why discipline is a choice, not a feeling. Every time you choose effort over escape, you're rewiring your brain. You're building a new default. You're turning I can't into I will. Picture yourself in a gym in Charlotte, sweat pouring, heart pounding. Nobody's there to clap for you, but you keep going. Why? Because you've decided. Because you're focused. Because you know every drop of sweat is a step toward your destiny. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You'll miss a day. You'll eat the pizza, skip the run scroll when you should be working. That's not the end. It's a signal. Get back up. Look in the mirror in your Louisville bathroom and say, I'm not done. Napoleon Hill said the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. That's discipline. That's focus. That's the mindset that turns a broke guy in Memphis into a man who builds a legacy. Time's not your friend. It's slipping through your fingers. You're not 25 anymore. Every day you waste doubting, scrolling, or stalling is a day you'll regret at 60. But every day you choose discipline, every day you lock in is a day you steal from regret. Picture yourself in a coffee shop in Seattle, 6 a.m., laptop open, working on your dream while the world's still waking up. That's not just a moment. That's a victory. That's you taking back your time, your power, your future. The world bows to discipline. Why? Because it's rare. Most guys in Miami are chasing quick fixes, crypto scams, viral fame, easy money. But the man who shows up every day, who grinds in the shadows, who builds habits nobody sees, he's the one who wins. He's the one who turns dreams into reality. David Goggins didn't become a legend by accident. He chose discipline over comfort every single day. You want to be a legend in your own life? Choose, build, grind. Now, this is your moment. The world's not going to wait for you to feel ready. Your dreams aren't going to chase themselves. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Cross it, step by step, habit by habit, choice by choice. You're not just fighting for success. You're fighting for your soul, for the man you know you can be. So lock in, build the habits, embrace the grind, and watch the world start to bend to your will. You've been through the fire. You've faced the chaos. You've felt the weight of life trying to crush you. But you're still here, standing tall, ready to fight. Now it's time to define what you're fighting for. Not a vague hope, not a fleeting wish. A purpose so sharp it slices through every doubt, every fear, every distraction. Without purpose, you're a man adrift in a storm, tossed by waves you can't control. With purpose, you're a freight train unstoppable, tearing through anything in your path. This is where you stop chasing shadows. This is where you start forging your destiny. Napoleon Hill said, "There is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose." Not a hobby you'll pick up when life slows down. Not a dream you'll chase someday. A purpose that burns so bright it wakes you at 3:30 a.m. in Detroit, that keeps you grinding in a dim-lit garage in Charlotte when the world's asleep. What's the one thing you'd crawl through hell for? What's the goal that makes your blood pump, your jaw tighten, your soul roar? This is mine. That's your purpose. Name it. Claim it. Live it. Let's cut to the chase. Most guys don't fail because they lack brains or hustle. They fail because they lack direction. They're sprinting in every direction, chasing 100 shiny ideas, never locking in on one. Picture yourself in a diner in Tulsa, 6 a.m., coffee steaming, pen scratching on a napkin. You write one sentence: "I will own a business that changes my city by 45. That's not a dream, that's a vow. That's purpose. That's the moment you stop being a man who drifts and start being a man who dominates. Napoleon Hill didn't just preach success, he decoded it. His secret, a mind fixed on one goal, unbending, unbreakable. That's the mind you need. That's the mind that wins. Purpose isn't something you stumble across, it's something you choose. It's the moment you stand in your kitchen in Boise, staring at a sink full of dishes and say, "No more. No more drifting. No more doubting. No more letting life call the shots." You decide what you're building. Maybe it's a legacy for your kids in Raleigh. Maybe it's a company that reshapes your community in San Antonio. Maybe it's your health, your strength, your life rebuilt from the ashes in Phoenix. Whatever it is, define it. Write it down. Speak it loud. Let it become the fire that drives every move you make. Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." Stop waiting for life to line up. Stop waiting for permission. Your purpose doesn't need a green light from anyone. It needs you to act. Right now. In the quiet of your apartment in Minneapolis with the wind howling outside, pick one mission, one goal. Make it the center of your universe. Not tomorrow, not next month, now. Because every second you hesitate, you're letting your future slip through your fingers. Clarity is your weapon. Without it, you're a man lost in the desert chasing mirages. You say you want success, but what the hell does that mean? A bank account with $100,000. A family that looks up to you. Freedom to live life on your terms. Get specific. Picture yourself in Miami standing on a rooftop running a business that pulls in $250,000 a year. See it. Feel it. Make it so real in your mind it's not a dream, it's a blueprint. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. So conceive it clearly. Believe it fiercely. Focus it into existence." Now let's talk about the fight. Purpose isn't enough. You've got to defend it. The world's coming for it. Distractions, doubters, your own damn fears. Picture yourself in a gym in Cleveland, 7 a.m., the air thick with sweat and resolve. Your phone's buzzing, texts, emails, noise. You could check it. You could let it pull you off track. But you don't. You silence it. You lift. You grind. Why? Because your purpose is sacred. It's not up for negotiation. It's not for sale. You protect it like a soldier protects his flag. Here's a story. A man in Orlando, 42, lost his tech job in a merger. No warning, just a handshake and a box for his stuff. He could have crumbled, let the stress eat him alive. Instead, he found his purpose to build a life of freedom for his son. He started small, woke up at 4 a.m. every day, learned e-commerce on a cracked laptop, hustled side gigs to pay the bills. A year later, he's running an online store clearing $60,000. Not a tycoon, but a man with direction, a man with purpose, a man who refused to let life break him. What's your purpose? What's the one thing you'd fight for, no matter how many times you get knocked down? Purpose gives you power, but only if you move on it. You can't just think it. You can't just talk it. You've got to act. Every day. In the rain of Seattle, when your shoes are soaked and your body's screaming, you move. In the heat of Tucson, when the sun's frying your resolve, you move. In the solitude of your basement in Pittsburgh, when nobody's watching, you move. Because purpose without action is just a fantasy. And you're not here to fantasize. You're here to conquer. Your subconscious is your secret weapon. Napoleon Hill called it the invisible force that shapes your reality. It doesn't argue. It doesn't doubt. It just listens. Feed it clarity and it'll move mountains. Feed it chaos and it'll keep you stuck. Picture yourself in a quiet room in St. Louis, 6 p.m., writing your purpose. I will be debt-free and running my own gym by 40. Write it every night. Speak it every morning. Let it sink deep. Your subconscious will start working even when you're not. It'll spot opportunities in Dallas you never saw before. It'll push you to act in Raleigh when you'd rather quit. It'll make you unstoppable because it believes what you repeat. But here's the catch, your subconscious doesn't care what you feed it. Repeat doubt and it builds doubt. Repeat fear and it builds fear. Repeat purpose and it builds purpose. So choose your signal. In your car in Memphis, stuck in traffic, say it out loud, I'm building a legacy. In your kitchen in Baltimore, washing dishes, write it down. I'm creating freedom. Make it real. Make it relentless. Make it your truth. Because the moment you do, your subconscious stops being a bystander and starts being your ally. Obstacles are coming. They're not optional. You'll hit walls. You'll face rejection. You'll feel like giving up. But purpose turns those walls into stepping stones. David Goggins said, when you're at your lowest, you gotta be your toughest. That's not just grit. That's gospel. When you lose a deal in Houston, you don't fold. You learn. When your savings dry up in San Diego, you don't quit. You hustle. When fear grips you in Boise, you don't run. You breathe. You focus. You keep moving toward your purpose. Stoicism shows you how. Epictetus said you become what you give your attention to. That job loss in Nashville. It's not a dead end. It's a detour. That empty bank account in Phoenix. It's not defeat. It's a challenge. That fear in your chest in Omaha. It's not weakness. It's proof you're pushing the edges of your comfort zone. Purpose doesn't erase obstacles. It gives you the strength to smash through them. It gives you a reason to keep going when everything screams stop. Time's your most precious asset. Every second you waste on distractions is a second you'll never get back. Picture yourself in a coffee shop in Kansas City, 6 a.m., laptop open. The world's still asleep, but you're working. Not scrolling, not dreaming. Working. Writing one email that could land a client. Reading one page that could spark a breakthrough. Taking one step toward your purpose. That's how you beat time. That's how you make it your ally, not your enemy. Purpose isn't just a goal, it's a way of being. It's how you walk through the streets of Chicago, head high, eyes locked forward. It's how you talk to your kids in Raleigh with conviction, not hesitation. It's how you show up in a meeting in Dallas, not as a man who's drifting, but as a man who knows his path. Napoleon Hill said, "The man who knows what he wants can make mountains move." So know what you want. Define it. Defend it. Fight for it. Because the moment you do, you stop being a pawn in life's game. You start being its master. Here's another story. A guy in Sacramento, 39, got hit hard by a layoff. Factory job gone. Savings down to $300. He could have let despair win, drowned his pain in a dive bar on J Street. Instead, he found his purpose to build a life where he's never at the mercy of a pink slip again. He started small, woke up at 4 a.m., learned carpentry skills online, took odd jobs to keep the lights on. 9 months later, he's running a small woodworking business, pulling in $40,000 a year. Not a king, but a man with a mission, a man with purpose, a man who refused to let life define him. What's your mission? What's the one thing you'd fight for no matter the cost? Belief is the fuel. Purpose without belief is just words on a page. You've got to believe in your mission like it's already yours. Picture yourself in a park in San Antonio, dawn breaking, running through the mist. You're not just running to stay fit. You're running to prove you can, that you will, that your purpose isn't a pipe dream, it's your future. Napoleon Hill said, "Faith is the starting point of all miracles." Mix your purpose with belief and it becomes unstoppable. Doubt will creep in, fear will knock, but belief slams the door shut. Belief keeps you moving. Action is the engine. Purpose is the map. Discipline is the fuel. But action, that's the wheel. You don't get to your destination by staring at the map. You move, every day. In your garage in Pittsburgh, writing one page of your business plan. In your car in Nashville, practicing one pitch that could close a deal. In your gym in Miami, pushing one more rep when your body's screaming to quit. Action makes purpose real. Action tells the world you're not playing. Action tells your subconscious you're all in. Here's how you make it happen. Step 1, define your purpose. Not a vague idea, a clear, burning mission. Write it: I will be debt-free in 3 years. I will start a business that changes lives. I will be the father my kids look up to. Step 2, break it into daily actions. Small ones. If your purpose is a business, research one market tonight. Contact one supplier tomorrow. Build one product next week. Step 3, guard your focus. Cut distractions ruthlessly. Say no to the bar in Austin. Say no to the scroll in Seattle. Say no to the doubt in your head. Step 4, act every day. No excuses, no delays. Every action is a brick in your empire. Step 5, believe relentlessly. Visualize your purpose as real. Feel it. Live it. Let it drive you when nothing else does. Step 6, adapt through obstacles. Setbacks aren't the end, they're feedback. Learn, adjust, keep moving. Step 7, repeat. Make purpose your default. Make action your habit. Make focus your weapon. These 7 steps aren't a shortcut. They're a system, a roadmap to turn your purpose into power. Napoleon Hill said, "Your big opportunity may be right where you are now. It's not in some distant city. It's not in some perfect moment. It's in your hands, in your mind, in your choices today." In the quiet of your room in Memphis, writing your purpose at 6 a.m. In the heat of a run in Phoenix, pushing through pain. In the solitude of your desk in Baltimore, grinding on a dream nobody else sees. That's where your opportunity lives. Grab it. Legacy isn't just for billionaires. It's for you. It's the life you build, the mark you leave, the story your kids will tell. Picture yourself in a park in Charlotte 10 years from now, watching your kids laugh. You're not stressed. You're not broke. You're proud. Because you focused. Because you chose purpose over distraction, discipline over ease, action over excuses. That's what purpose does. It doesn't just change your life, it changes your family's future. It changes the world. David Goggins said, "You're not going to find your passion sitting on your couch." Your purpose isn't waiting for you to feel ready. It's waiting for you to act, to fight, to focus. Your purpose is your responsibility. Your focus is your power. Your actions are your proof. So stop waiting. Stop wishing. Stop drifting. Define your purpose. Guard it like your life depends on it. Act on it every damn day. Let it burn in your soul until the world has no choice but to make way for you. This is your moment. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Right now. In the dawn of Denver with the Rockies watching. In the hustle of Miami with the ocean roaring. In the quiet of Omaha with nothing but your purpose and your will. Choose. Act. Believe. Your mind is your weapon. Your purpose is your fire. Your focus is your edge. Use them. Build the life you were born to live. Make your dreams inevitable. If you felt something shift while listening, don't ignore it. Like the video, leave your voice in the comments. And subscribe to SoulFuel, where courage is sparked and the life you deserve takes shape.